So definitely hit the subscribe. So it's just fun to do. It's a little something different. I'm talking too much as always. Sometimes you just need to take a breath. Take a breath. Brushing. Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. Today's video is going to be the over 30 book tag, and I was tagged by Scott at Book Invasion a few weeks back. I'm late to doing the tag. If you saw my other video, you know that life has just been ruddy and funky lately, but here I am doing it, excited about doing it. Schooled him slightly on the fact for thinking I was a day over 29, but have accepted my fate in that I'm way over 30. So perfectly qualified to be doing the over 30 book tag. But this was an original tag by Emily at Ink Not Blood, and I will include her video and Scott's video down below. And then obviously if you check this hashtag, it's kind of all over the place on BookTube, which is exciting because I have discovered some new booktubers in the over 30 category. And it feels nice to have people in my community. I do love all booktubers, but it is definitely interesting to see how many people are on the other side of 30. So anyway, this is not about that. This is a book tag about being over 30, and it's just a handful of questions, so let's just get into them. So question number 1 is, name one of your favorite books that features a protagonist who is 30 years or older. Now, you know I can never pick just one, and there are a lot of books that I love, so I picked a few, and in no particular order. The first book I picked, and it's less about the book and more about the series, and it's Linda Fairstein's Alexandra Cooper series. So Alex Cooper is kind of 36 to 38, and she kind of stays there. So 20 books into the series, God bless her, she really just doesn't age past 38. But she works in the Manhattan Sex Crimes Division. She works with the police, solving cases, solving mysteries in New York. Linda Fairstein used to work in the Sex Crime Division. I want to say she headed it towards the end of her career. So it's very real in the stories that are being told. It's gritty, it can be dark, but the characters are amazing, the stories are amazing. She takes a landmark in New York City kind of in every book, so you get kind of a history lesson without it feeling like a history lesson. Like she's done Grand Central, she's done the New York Public Library, she's done the Met, she's done Gracie Mansion. It's just, they're so good. Huge fan of her writing, instant buy for me. So love me some Alex Cooper. Another series that I love with an over 30 protagonist is Patricia Cornwell's Kay Scarpetta series. And I have talked about this series before. This is just a random book in the middle of the series, but I am going to, I swear, reread Postmortem, which is her first book, and would love to reread the entire series. I want to say she's like at 25 books, and I had not kept up completely with this. I have kept up with Linda Fairstein's. I'm just one behind. So slowly, sort of bucket list, you know, over the coming years, I want to reread these. But Dr. Kay Scarpetta, she's a medical examiner in Virginia. She also is on all sorts of interesting cases. She works with the FBI. She's got a great surrounding cast of characters with her. She spends time in Virginia. She spends time at Quantico. She spends time in Florida. She comes up to New York. She's kind of all over the place. She goes where the cases are. So huge fan of Kay, huge fan of Patricia Cornwell. But I'm not stopping there. Another over 30 protagonist that I love and haven't read in so long, but when I was looking at my bookshelf, I could not pick it. And it's Bridget Jones' Diary by Helen Fielding. And I fell in love with Bridget like so many other people did. And I realized, I feel like there's like a time and a place for Bridget, but she was really that first kind of like messy, didn't have it together protagonist. And I just love it. And it's, having just picked this off the bookshelf this morning, I really want to reread this too. So, and I'm curious to see if I like it as much as I did then, which seems to be a theme with my rereads, but I loved Bridget, you know, for exactly who she was. I think that's like the Mark Darcy line. I thought the movie was amazing, but this is a diehard kind of like sentimental favorite of mine. So I love Bridget. And then the last one I picked is Gone Girl and Amy Dunn. And I mean, Amy is a horrible, horrible human being, but I love her. And as I sit here holding up this book, I'm pretty sure she's over 30. Pretty sure she's over 30. If she's not, this is going to be embarrassing. But I love Amy. I mean, like I said, she's a horrible human being. She's a terrible character that I love. And I hate her, but I love her. This book, amazing, through and through. So, Amy Dunn, another great fave. Question number 2 is name a book that represents who you were when you were younger. So, I don't know if these books are going to like represent who I was when I was younger, but these are the books that I was reading when I was younger. So one of them is Lois Duncan, was a huge author fave of mine. She wrote mysteries. I bought this one, Stranger with My Face, and another one, Down a Dark Hall, on Book Outlet last year. And it was in one of my hauls, but I wanted to kind of revisit some of these books, and I loved them. They absolutely are what got me into mysteries. Just loved them through and through. So this was a huge critical author that I read when I was younger. Another one was the Sweet Valley High series. So Frances Pascal, I want to say, Francine or France, I think it's Frances Pascal. I loved the Wakefield twins. That series was another one that like compulsively picked up from the library, compulsively purchased, would trade books with my friends. Just loved it. Like I wanted to be them. I wanted to like live that life. They're just all of it. I just think it was such a great series. I don't know how it would hold up now, but I would be super curious to read it. And I had actually looked to see like if they had it at Book Outlet or something, and it's hard to find. But I lived and died for those series, the Sweet Valley High series also. And then some other books I read when I was younger, like I read Beasts and Ramona. I love Judy Blume. I kind of anything sort of like younger yet. Like I loved Berenstain Bears. I loved Babar. Sort of any kind of picture book having to do with bears, teddy bears. There was this book called The Lonely Doll with like Edith and Mr. Bear and Little Bear. So anything having to do with teddy bears, I was completely down with also. So I loved to read as a kid. I loved going to the library. I feel like I was a browser even back in the day and would just find things on the shelf that were interesting to me. But yeah, those are kind of like a lot of the types of books that I read when I was little. Question number 3 is name a book that represents where you are in your life now. So this one was like slightly harder to figure out, yet not hard at all. And if you saw kind of my March catch-up video, like Struggle Street Living, I have just been in like this epic life rut, and just sort of everything has felt like bleh, like across the board. So I've been struggling a bit lately. And I was looking on my shelf, and there's a whole bunch of books I haven't read, and these are 2 of them, and these are 2 books that I feel like I should be reading and need to read, and I'm not even trying to be like funny or sarcastic about this, but the first book is Get Your Shit Together by Sarah Knight, and I bought this kind of like when I was really struggling at work and not happy and just felt like super uninspired. This was probably like early last summer, maybe like late last spring, and was just feeling, probably summer, super unmotivated with everything, and was really feeling like it was bleeding in to everything else in my life. So sort of similar to how I've been feeling lately, but with a different catalyst for it. And I bought this and I never read it. And maybe if I had read it, things would be a little bit different, but I feel like I need to get it together. And this is like how to stop worrying about what you should do so you can finish what you need to do and start doing what you want to do. So it's like super kind of easy reading. I have like flipped through it and read little parts of it, but it's like no nonsense kind of writing, easy breezy kind of writing. It's not a heavy book. The title probably would have hinted at that. So this is one that I definitely want to read. And then the other book, this is like the irony of it all, is Sophie Kinsella's Finding Audrey. Because I don't know who the hell I am right now. I feel very lost in life. And I'm going to be honest. The only reason I bought this book is because of this. And the fact that I kind of look like her is a little bit weird. But not that like brown hair and pale skin is like a unique thing in life. But anyway, I haven't read this. I don't even know what it's about. I feel like it's Audrey wears dark glasses all the time, even in the house. She almost never goes out, doesn't talk to new people, and finds making eye contact to be nearly impossible. I'm not that bad. She sounds a little bit like Eleanor Oliphant in like a less intriguing way. I don't know. So I feel like I have seen a couple reviews on this and they weren't all that positive, but I'm a sucker for a book with my name in it. So yeah, I got this. I need to figure out who I am, so maybe reading this book with this book on the side. That's not really being held up well. Maybe this will solve my problems. Just a quick sidebar, there is one other book that exists with my name in it, and it's Little Audrey and the Moon Lady. I had to dig this out and find it. I'm sure my mom got this for me when I was a kid, and you can tell it like got wet and all sorts of stuff. It's seen better days. There I am with my fantastic kid handwriting. But yes, I'm a sucker for a book with my name in it because this does not happen often. So if this gives you any sense of anything, this book, copyright 1960, not when I was born. And then Sophia Kinsella's book, which I think came out a couple years ago. So yes, sometimes you have to wait like 6 years between books to get your name in a book. Question number 4 is name a book that represents something that has never changed about you. So I don't totally know what this question is asking me. So many things have changed about me, but thinking about concepts I love and ideas that I love in books, there are 2 books that I thought of, and it's A Clean Slate by Laura Caldwell, and then Time of My Life by Alison Wynne Scotch, which I feel like I've talked about this book before. But both of these books are basically the main character in A Clean Slate. She wakes up, what's her name? Kelly. Kelly wakes up and has her breakfast, goes to pick up her dry cleaning and realizes that she's lost 5 months of her life. So the dry cleaning she goes to pick up was ready 5 months ago, but to her it feels like yesterday. And she realizes she's given sort of this clean slate chance at life. And all sorts of bad crap has happened during those 5 months. She broke up with her boyfriend. I don't know if she lost her job, but she was basically in a bad place. So she has a chance to start fresh. Love that idea, sort of where I am in my own life. And then Time of My Life, sort of a different twist on the same thing, is our main character, don't kill me, Jillian, sort of is living her life, married, kids, suburbia, blah, 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 and then wakes up the next day 7 years earlier and knows then what she knows now. So she's with her ex-boyfriend, living that life, but being fully conscious of her current life. And she has the choice to sort of live it all over again, knowing then what she knows now. And did she take the right path? Did she make the right choices? Did she wind up with the right person? And again, sort of this idea of being able to start over. I had mentioned in my other video, I'm like 80 pages into What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. And in that book, our character wakes up after falling off her spin bike and has lost the last 10 years of her life. So again, sort of this concept of being able to start fresh, having a clean slate, having that freedom to do whatever you want. And maybe it's taking the risks you always wanted to take, or, going after something that's always been a dream that you've been too afraid to do, or wondering, did I make the wrong choice with my job, or with the person I chose to be with, or the person I chose not to be with, or where I chose to live or move to, or things I've said and done. So I just love this idea of being able to go back with the knowledge that you had. And I also love the idea of sort of having that fresh, clean slate and starting over, and having kind of no inhibitions about starting fresh, nothing holding you back, having the confidence to do it, kind of the no fear has gone away. So something that hasn't changed about me is sort of that concept. But I feel like I've always longed for a chance to have the clean slate and have the freedom to just sort of go for it. So was that more than you needed to know? Or am I not answering the question right? I don't even know. But that's what I'm going with for question number 4. Question number 5 is to name one of your favorite classics. And for me, classics is probably subjective, but I'm going with Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. And this book was like such a game changer for me. This book is also in the sorriest state of conditions in the entire world. And if you can't tell, I may or may not have 5-finger discounted this from a library back in the day. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is up on that. But yes, I could be mischievous when I needed to be / wanted to be. But anyway, I was completely obsessed with this book. I remember reading this in high school, and I think part of it was like because Holden said bad words, and it seemed kind of exciting. I also just loved Holden as the character. I think we all did. In my head, this is probably going to sound crazy, I pictured like Ethan Hawke, kind of like bad boy young Ethan Hawke as Holden Caulfield. And I was obsessed with him. I still am obsessed with him till this very day. But I loved this book. I loved this story. And this is a book where we had to write a paper kind of as like a last chapter to this book, continuing on in Holden's voice, you know, in Salinger's writing style. And I do fully remember doing this. I also 100% found that paper when I was doing my giant purge cleaning, like pack rat to the nth degree. But my teacher wrote like the best comments about my writing, about all of it. It was one of those things that completely like reinforced wanting to be a writer. She was the teacher who recommended I go to BU. She wrote my recommendation letter, like all of these things. So it all sort of ties together sentimentally for me. But this is definitely one of my favorites. I haven't read this book in so many years. I don't even know if I would connect with it the same way or still be in love with Holden the same way, or think he was kind of a jerk now. I don't even know. But love, love, love. I'm also going to add this to my perpetually growing reread list now. And the final question is, name a book you like or would like to read that was published in the year you were born. Really? We're really gonna get into the age? So, I'll be honest, I looked. And I did not see a specific book that I wanted to read from 1990. But I am going to honor the 70s. And one book I totally want to read, and I don't even think I was aware, I mean, I really feel like I wasn't aware of when a lot of books were published, because I found like a lot of the Lois Duncan books were done in the 70s, and I didn't even realize that because obviously I read them so many years later. But the book that I'm picking is Curtain by Agatha Christie. And this is her final Poirot book. And I haven't even begun to like scratch the surface on Agatha Christie books. I have read several of her books. I have seen many movies. I enjoy her books. I enjoy the characters. But this is her final Poirot book. So I'm very curious to see how she ended it before he had a chance to live again through Sophie Hannah in the newer books that have come out, like Closed Casket and Monogram Murders. But this is the book that I'm picking. I do want to read it. Obviously, I don't think it matters if you read it out of sequence. It's completely fine. So that's on my list for something to check out. But I do love me some Agatha Christie. So yeah, there you go. No more excuses or explanations. So that is it for the over 30 book tag. So if you are over 30 and you want to do the tag, do it. Open to all. If you don't have a channel or don't want to do a video, answer the questions down below because I feel like that would be fun. I would love to see what other people have read or are interested in and all that good stuff. And Google the over 30 book tag in the search bar if you're interested in finding some more people in this era of booktubers. So thank you again, Scott, for tagging me and telling me about it. I'm happy to have discovered some new people. And if you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button because there'll be more videos coming. And yeah, that's kind of it. So thank you guys for hanging out today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.